Hi, I'm Dan and welcome to Airbrush Garage. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today, I'm going to be showing you the basic steps on how I do rivets. Don't forget to check out my affiliate links below for all the products I use in this video. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get future notifications, and with that, let's get started. Well, all right, I went ahead and pre-prepped our board. I'm going to keep this small because my goal here is to teach you how to do a rivet, not a whole panel. Once you know the technique of the rivet, you can spend as much time as you like doing a whole panel. Okay, but what we're going to do here is I'm just going to show you two metal panels that come together by rivets, and right here is going to be the seam. So what I did was I taped off where the seam is going to be, and it's going to be approximately 1/16 of an inch. Okay, you're only going to need two colors for this. You're going to need white and you're going to need black. Now, let me go back a step. The background I used Wicked colors from Createx. That's what I like to use, or illustration colors, either one. But whatever paint you're using is fine. I just want to let you know that what I did was I used this was Wicked gray, or just a gray, and then I used just one drop to about maybe 12 drops of the gray. I used about one drop of Payne's gray. Okay, and in the Wicked color, it's Detail Payne's gray. And that just darkens it up a little bit. Just gives the gray just a little bit more darker of a shadow. So with that, like I said, I pre-prepped the background with the gray. After that, you're only going to need black and you're going to need white. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to take our black and we're going to put in our seam, or the division between our two panels. And let's give it a couple light coats. Darken it up. Now, when you're pulling masking back on any project you're doing, always pull it back on itself. You don't want to take the masking and pull away from the surface. You want to peel it down and roll it over itself. It gives you the best chance of not pulling paint off. Okay, so that's going to be our division line in our panel. So I'm going to give you two ways to do this. I'm going to give you the way to do it with the template, and a little something you could use around your garage to make the template. But for today, I'm going to be using the circle template by Airsick. I'm going to pop a link down below in my affiliate links. Please go click on that if you're interested in buying one after this tutorial. The other one is I'm going to show you how, when I first started doing rivets, I started doing them with washers. So I take a metal washer of the size of the rivet that I want, and I take a thin piece of wood and I super glued it to the back. Okay, I made sure that the hole was covered up. And if you have a bigger rivet, you're just going to have to make sure that you can cover it up with, whether it be a piece of paper or whatever, but you need the hole covered. Then I just put a nice flexible piece of tape handle on it, and you'll see how I use this later. I'll demonstrate it. But this is going to serve as my positive template for my rivet. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this template, and like I said, it's an Airsick template, and I'm going to start it off with the smallest hole that's provided on this template. I masked all the other holes off so I don't get overspray on them. And then we're going to be using this negative template and this positive template right here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your panel and you're going to want to divide it up evenly of where you want your rivets. Okay, so I took the time before this so I wouldn't waste your time with it, and divided it out to the rivets that I was looking for, or the spacing I was looking for. So with that, let's start some rivets. What I recommend is you stick to one color and do everything first. In other words, we're going to do our flat, partially 3D rivets, and we're going to do all of them first, okay? Then we're going to come back and do the next step. So what you're going to do is you're basically just making, when you learn how to shade, hopefully you've gotten that far, where you're going to put a smiley face down here on the bottom, and that's going to be your shadow. The light's going to be coming down from the top, and you're going to have your highlight on the top. So we're going to want this to look like, like a ball. All right. So you want to put the smiley face down here and let your overspray work that for you, and we'll come back and hit that with a highlight. Okay, so as you can see, you know, kind of 3D, a little flat right now. We add that white highlight in a little later. So again, I have these rivets marked out. You might not be able to see that, so that's going to allow me to move a lot quicker. And the tape on, you know, the holes, the other holes, allows me to just stick it, and I can have, you know, a free hand. Now that I got two of them done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the finish technique on both of these, so we won't take a lot of time going through each one. But if I was just doing this on my own, I would just take this black technique right here and I would just fill in all my rivets. Then I'd come back and I'd hit it with this next technique that we're going to do. So now you want to grab your white, and here's where we're going to add the little highlight. Now this is where those basic techniques come in, where, you know, doing your little dots and those little fine highlight dots. Okay, so you just want to put a little highlight there. All right, and once you do that, while you still have the white in your hands, you want to come back with your positive mask. Now, here's the trick to it. Your rivet, you want it to roll, right? So you got your dark smiley face down the bottom. Your light's going to come over the top this way because it's coming down from here. You're going to put your white highlight on the outside of your rivet on the dark side. Okay, so dark, light. On the opposite side, light, dark. I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is your dark side down here. You're going to want to come and put your white, do like a little smiley face again. Okay, so you got a little white highlight down the bottom. And once you have that, and again, I would go all the way across all my rivets with my white highlights. Then I would come back in with my black, so I need my black highlight. I'm going to demonstrate, I'll do the black highlight with the rivet and show you how that can be done. You don't need this template. I mean, the template's always the easiest, don't get me wrong, but I'm just going to show, I'm trying to show you that you could use what you have around the house if you had to. You can be creative. Okay, so as you can see, it really does add a little depth to it. Actually adds a lot of depth to it. So with that, I'm going to continue on and I'll see you on the opposite side. right, so if you do have any mistakes or anything like that, or you have a little bit of white or something like that where you want, it's where you can go back and clean up your rivets a little bit, you know. Sometimes that gun gets away on you a little bit. You might be having some trouble with some tip dry or something like that, so you know, it's okay. Go back in, touch it up. So you get that template back over where you need it. Nothing you can't handle. So before we get some grain in the gun, let's just do the edges here. You know, we want to let the overspray do our work for us. You want to spray up that tape. You want to be mostly on the tape. I'm about 2 to 3 inches away from the tape. And you can't really tell until you take the tape off of what that overspray is doing. All right, so again, I got my gun loaded up with the base gray. Again, it was just straight gray, wicked gray, and a little bit of Payne's gray. I want to put a little bit of darkness right going down and along here. You see that Payne's gray just gives it that little bit more depth or a little bit more darkness than the actual gray. So, you know, I think I'm pretty happy with that. You know, if you step back and take a look at it, I think you'd be happy with the results. Okay, just to recap, in my view, 2 ways to do rivets. Got black back here on my gun, okay, and you can do it with just the little ball effect, where again you put the little smiley face. You're going to do that in both effects, but one's going to have an indentation, one is not. Again, you could just put one here. Okay, so in both cases, you have, you know, something that looks like a ball. You know, you got your dark highlight down here, or vice versa. If your light was coming up from the bottom, it would just be flipped. But in any event, that's what you have right there. Now, it doesn't take on its total look until you add the white highlight. So again, the light's coming up over this way. You're going to want to go from the center on back and try to make it like a little little dot, and or you can make it like a little moon on the other side, or the little smiley face on the other side with your highlight. So there you have it. There's two ways to do rivets in my opinion. You can do it without the indentation around it, or you can do it with the indentation around it. I like it with the indentation around it. I think it gives it a little bit more depth. So let's see what this looks like. That's what you get for doing work on poster board and not being careful. Well, there you have it. My take on rivets. So what hopefully you take away from this is it's not that complicated. Okay, basically what you need is you need your base color, which would be a gray. This video also, I will have future videos that are going to be showing rust coming down off the rivets, or distressed panels, a little bit more realistic metal. But that's not the purpose of this video. This video is to show you how to create a rivet. So with that said, you can have two types of rivets, in my opinion. One without the indentation, and all this is your ball technique. You got your black smiley face down the bottom, your white highlight up top, rolls it around. I like this method a little bit better. I think it gives it a little bit more depth, where you're using your positive template on top of this rivet, getting in real tight and close up here, gives it a little bit, defines that rivet a little bit more, and then has your white highlight down here. I think it just makes the rivet pop a little bit more. But do them both ways. I've done them both ways on several projects. Just depends on what, how I'm feeling, what I'm looking for. But again, white, black, and some gray. Use this technique. You have all the rivets that you want. So if you like this, please hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video. Keep on practicing.